Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another Kick and Reviews, the only review I have to watch before going to a movie. Now, I'm not gonna hop on the bandwagon and say that I've been an Alien fan since day one. In all honesty, I watched the first one like a couple days ago, and the only reason I watched it was to test the waters, try to see what I was gonna get into, in the weekend watching the new one. But was it worth it? Was the new one any good? Well, let's get right into reviewing. After boarding an abandoned ship trying to escape their planet, Rain and her friends must fight off a horde of aliens that will do anything to survive. So if you're anything like me, I always thought the Alien franchise was more horror related. I feel like that's how it's displayed to everyone. You think of Alien, you think a horror franchise that involves aliens, right? Honestly, after watching the old one and this new one that just came out, I feel like this franchise is more sci-fi than horror, so I think it's a good thing to keep in mind that it's not going to be your typical horror movie. Like, there's not a lot of scares, there's not a lot of creepy shit that happens. It's more of a thriller, I'd say. Like, there are some creepy shit, don't get me wrong. There is some stuff that are horrifying, I guess, but it isn't mainly focused on that. So I wouldn't go as far as to call it a horror movie. I want to say a sci-fi thriller. Maybe I'm just desensitized to this type of shit, but I personally didn't find it that scary. So just keep that in mind. It's more of a sci-fi than a horror movie. Now, actually getting into the main highlights of the movie, I really want to talk about the character relationships. I'll save the main one for maybe after this, but a lot of these characters feel like they're actually friends. They all have connections with each other. This character is connected to this character in this way, and this character is connected to this other character in this way. Like, they all feel very connected, and that adds a little bit of suspense to it. Seeing how these characters react to their friends or their brothers or whatever, like seeing them how they react to each other was pretty cool because of that connection that is established throughout the film. So I really liked the character relationships in the movie. Now, the main character relationship that I did want to touch upon was Rain and her synthetic brother, Andy. I feel like this whole relationship is the heart of the movie. It's very well fleshed out. It's something that I really enjoyed. From the start of the movie, it's established that they care for each other and they love each other. So seeing what happens throughout the film involving these two characters really had me glued to my seat, right? I did want to see them succeed. I did want to see them have a happy ending. And sometimes I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. So props to them for making me feel for these two characters, especially. So both of the actors, they do a very good job playing their characters, especially Andy, that has to act like an AI and plays, spoiler alert, like two different characters. I really enjoyed that. Props to him. I also want to shout out Fede Alvarez for wanting to use practical effects opposed to CGI. I think using practical effects for the alien and the face huggers makes these things feel more real, and in turn makes them feel more terrifying. So I really appreciated that. I think he said something about the movie choosing to use the most practical effects that they could. Obviously you can't make a ship flying into space practical, but all the alien stuff, I don't know what else, but there's like the specific character that comes out that he's a robot, and I don't want to spoil it, but he's like he's a pretty big character, right? They use practical effects and CGI, but I feel like if it was all CGI, it would have looked a lot worse. So props to them for going the practical way, because you got to appreciate it. Now, touching upon the horror aspects of the movie, there are not a lot of jump scares. When the jump scares do happen, since they're so scares, I think they affect you a lot more, because when I go into a horror movie, call me a pussy or whatever, but I'm a very jumpy person. So if I know that a fucking jump scare is going to come out, I'm just fucking like, dude, I'm covering my eyes and shit, trying not to watch that, Obviously, I want to see it, so like, I'll leave a little spot in my eye to see the little bit, like, to see what's going on, like, not to miss it. But I'm a very jumpy person, and I do get scared a lot. It's something that, I don't know, I think my dad used to scare me when I was smaller, so it's just like a reaction that I have now. I feel like this Alien movie, like, there's not a lot of jump scares, so the times they do happen, I wasn't expecting them, so I wasn't crouching trying to not see but see at the same time, and I feel like that made them more effective because it caught me off guard. So I really like the jump scares in this movie, even though I'm not a fan of jump scares in general, but this movie does them well, so props to them. Now, staying on that horrifying topic, dude, that whole last section was fucking crazy. Like, I don't know. Like I said, now that I've seen like clips on Twitter and shit, maybe I would have seen this coming, but I haven't seen I haven't seen the other Alien movies, but that whole last section caught me so off guard, dude. It was fucking nasty, dude. Like, the best term that I can put on it is gnarly. You know, it's like nasty, but it's cool at the same time. So it caught, dude. It was fucking crazy. That's the best way to say it. It was crazy. I didn't expect it, but it was cool at the same time. So I think gnarly is the best way to explain it, but you just have to see it yourself, man. Honestly, as fucking disgusting as it was, I really liked it. Now, one of the sub themes, I guess, of the movie has to do with morality. Something that I did pick up throughout the film was that there's a lot of talk about morals of, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's like that question of, if you have a train and there's two ways, but one of them has 5 people and one of them has one, like, which way are you taking it, right? Which way are you throwing the train? I feel like that question itself is a topic that is a part of this movie, you know, especially with the synthetics or the androids or the AI that they have in the movie. You know, they do touch upon the topic of morality, like, well, what's the right thing to do in these situations where it's life or death. And I really liked it. I do wish they did more with it, but the small amount we got, or the medium amount we got, satisfied me, so I really like that. Now, I want to finish this off by saying that this movie felt like a remake of that first one. You know, not exactly like the same characters or like a reboot or anything, but I felt like, if you guys have seen The Force Awakens, you know how it's kind of similar to A New Hope. Like, it has similar story beats, but it does a lot of things different to be considered a different movie and not a reboot, right? I feel like that's the perfect example or comparison to Alien Romulus and the first Alien movie. Like, there's a lot of similar story beats, like the character's a girl and all that. I don't want to spoil the movie, but it did feel that inspired, or at least it felt like it used the first Alien movies as a blueprint, you know, just like I said, like The Force Awakens and A New Hope. So I don't know, I just wanted to add that it's something that I thought was cool. Now, taking it up to the rating board, Alien Romulus is a pretty fun movie that has some creative set pieces and standout character relationships. Although it may drag on sometimes, it does a lot of things well enough to get a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's a fun movie, but it isn't necessary to watch it in theaters, so it also gets a Saturday night certification. Now, that's all I had to say about Alien Romulus. I personally did enjoy this movie. I'll probably watch it a couple times. You know, I like that sci-fi aspect of it, but hopefully I want to start making other kinds of video, not just movie reviews, so keep an eye out for that. Maybe some Marvel related shit, because I'm kind of on a Marvel high right now. But other than that, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below for other movies you want to see me review. Leave a comment down below for other things you want to see me improve on. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one.